of voice overlay. Not of us, but of something else.
Someone else.
Yeah.
More professional.
You heard it here first.
How did I think of that? I love that. Honestly,
It looks like a condom is coming out of his ass, but
it's
it's like
coming
a tumor.
out of the cat, man. The cat's anus, man.
It's like a little.
It's like
like a little
think
bag.
about a condom, and it's blown up.
It looks like a
and
little
it's
bag.
got stuck stuff in it.
It looks like there's like
he's
blood and
crapping
shit
it,
in
and it's
there.
stuck in that too, brother. And
Like
it's
that. There it is. She got a picture of
And
it.
she's got a picture. Let's all see this glorious.
It looks like a tumor.
He's licking it, man. You see?
What the hell?
And he's just he encourages everyone to look because see he don't sit on it; it just kind of pokes out. You know what I'm saying? So very understandable.
And this is the Krunch podcast. Unfortunately, we recorded this podcast last Thursday at 1 a.m., but my computer was kind of crapped out on me, so I do apologize. But we are back here recording it again for you guys, and joined always is my co-host, Jacob.
What's going on?
And we have a special guest with us today.
Dylan.
My boy Dylan.
Your boy Dylan?
Your boy Dylan?
You're Dylan.
I'm the boy.
And hopefully we can have a podcast today that goes good.
Don't lose our audio this time.
Yeah.
Let's not corrupt.
Nothing corrupted or anything.
That'd be great. So let's just we're gonna jump into our ad right now. So let me pull it up real quick.
Shout out to our video sponsor.
Yes, thank you so much to Rodan and Fields. Ever looked in the mirror and wished you had a clearer skin, less wrinkles, longer eyelashes?
Definitely.
Jacob
Yes,
needs some longer
absolutely.
eyelashes.
I have some really messed up eyelashes, man.
It's crazy. Well, you can.
Oh man.
From the doctors behind Proactive, introducing revolutionary products from Rodan and Fields.
What?
I know. It's for women and men.
I'm gonna be more gorgeous than I thought I already was.
I thought you were already using this. You're so gorgeous.
Man, that's what I'm saying, dog.
I love this stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
Visit the link in the description below for exclusive offers and to be part of this amazing opportunity. Also below is a Facebook group that you can join as well for hands-on support and direct from the seller communication. Thank you again, Rodan and Fields. We will be using your product on the podcast one day if this podcast gets, what were we saying, 100 likes?
No, it was 50 likes in 3 days.
50 likes in 3 days.
From the upload.
Share this video as much as possible, and we will do it on stream. Rodan and Fields, thank you so much for the sponsor. We appreciate it.
And if we can't get it in on the podcast, it will definitely be a side video that will be recorded before the podcast.
Definitely.
Like,
And each other will be applying it.
I'm
Absolutely.
going to put this on my face.
Bruh.
It's going to be amazing.
You're going to look more gorgeous than I thought, man.
Look at me.
Do I have to?
So the first order of business is, of course, the very sad news of our boy Stanley passing away at the young age of 95.
Man.
It was Monday, wasn't it?
That was my boy,
Monday,
Blue,
yeah.
I'm telling you.
That was a
That
solid
was my
week
boy.
ago, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Monday, last Monday, actually.
That's ridiculous, man. That's a huge influence on everyone's lives. Whether
Everyone's.
you think it or not.
Everyone's. I mean, he built.
Actually,
He built childhoods, you know,
Oh,
that we all have. So that's really awesome. And
definitely.
interesting fact is all his cameos equal to about 11 minutes and 58 seconds. How many can we talk about how long that is?
I mean,
That's a long time.
among all the Marvel, all the
All
Marvel
of them,
movies he's
yes.
ever been in.
Even
And
like animated ones as well.
yeah.
Yeah, even some, yeah.
I
Yeah.
forgot that he was in the animated one. I was like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah. So,
I had a few other good facts last week, and
Can you not remember?
I know
he wrote obituaries.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
obituaries.
Yeah.
He started obituaries when he first started, and he got depressed by it, and he hated it. And his first ever comic book he ever wrote was The Destroyer.
The Destroyer.
And I remember the story. It was the story is so close to Captain America's story. It's a a man who's he's like captured by the Nazis.
Mm-hmm.
They inject him with a super soldier serum.
Oh goodness.
And then he breaks out and kills the Nazis. Like he goes after them.
Yeah.
That's
that's
literally Captain America.
Yeah. We're just missing the vibranium shield. But
yeah. I feel you.
I'm probably gonna have to go back and try to read some of that older stuff, but it's probably very outdated.
Very.
Oh,
I mean, we're talking about a 95-year-old man. He's got a lot of history, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna take some time. That's crazy though.
I found a metal sign in a antique shop yesterday. Actually, it was like it was one of the old like comic book covers, like the Amazing Spider-Man, and it's like him. I don't know. It was like the original artwork from like one of the first comics. Is what style it is. It looks amazing. It was only like $15. I was like, yes, this is going in my room.
And it was one of those like metal type of things.
Yeah, like the tin sign.
The tin sign. Yeah.
Yes, I love
the Coke
those.
ones, you know.
Yeah.
That's like my favorite type of like. Whenever I'm at a flea market or something,
those are the signs I look for.
I need to get those. I don't buy them, but I need them. One day I'll just collect them. Hopefully.
Get like 50 years old. Get like a building out in the backyard.
Just have American Pickers pull up and say, "Can I buy your stuff?"
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Oh man.
Like
Put you a Thunderbird outside, man. They'd be pulling up in the next 2 weeks, boy. I'm telling you.
After you started collecting all that stuff.
Even though they'll lowball you as much as they can.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
But well, this thing's worth like $1,000. But you gotta think like, I gotta buy this. I'm trying to make a lot of money, and I really don't want you to make a lot of money off of this. So like, even though
they come to your place,
they come.
It's just
that's what's crazy about it.
It's just like, well, you see, I drove like 30 minutes to your house. So, you know, I think it's worth $10,000. I think I can give you a solid $50 for it, and we can just call it even. And because, you know, I drove 30 minutes all the way. I had to buy Arby's on the way here.
I know, and I know how you feel. And see, my stuff's just sitting here, so I'd rather let you have it for $50. Really, I would.
That's how it should be.
And I'll be on TV, so I should be famous
perfect.
at that point. And I'm old, so I'm gonna die next week.
See, I didn't even think about
right?
that. Yeah.
That's the way most of
how
their episodes go.
Yeah, that's how it goes. They perceive themselves like that. They're like, "You're old, you don't need it, so I'll buy it." You screw your grandkids.
Yeah, screw your grandkids. Don't
give
your grandkids
don't give her anything.
This Thunderbird. You know, just sell it to me.
Exactly. 30 years.
Exactly. It wouldn't be a good idea at all.
Oh man.
Give it to the American Pickers, man.
Going back to all Stanley's cameos in the movies, what was I actually seen Guardians of the Galaxy for the first time.
Yeah.
Like a few hours ago.
Yeah, he loved
Are you
it.
serious?
Yeah.
I know.
And
we should probably clap a little.
yeah, his cameo in there was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, he was the old man.
Yeah, he's all the man on the bridge up there
Yeah.
holding the girl. Yeah.
Where's your wife, old man?
Yeah.
That's my favorite Marvel.
You know, I think I like the most is going through like and scrolling on like for instance Chris Pratt's Instagram, and he had a picture with Stanley, and all these, you know, everyone just followed his lead, you know, or whoever started it, and just kept posting stuff.
I seen something. It was like I think it was Chris Pratt's post about Stanley.
Yeah.
He's like, "Thank you for making me a part of your universe." And somebody commented, it said, "Even though you killed half of the."
Bro, did you see what Deadpool posted?
No, I didn't.
No.
See that.
Bro, you know how he is, how he's short and stuff. He's not sappy.
Yeah.
He's just like his character Deadpool, and you should have seen what he posted. I can't remember what he posted actually.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, let me see what he posted.
He's a treasure.
He is, man.
Speaking of
hottest
Ryan
man alive,
Reynolds,
2013, 2014.
Yeah.
I think so.
I didn't subscribe to that magazine, unfortunately.
Speaking of Ryan
All he
Reynolds,
said, that's all he said was, "Thanks for everything, Stan."
thanks for everything, Stan.
And he's up there on the DJ.
That said it all.
I just said it all, man.
That said it all,
It's awesome,
Ryan.
dude. So great.
Speaking of saying it all, Ryan,
Yeah,
he is now Pikachu.
He is now Pikachu,
Oh,
man.
Detective
gosh.
Pikachu.
I think that's a really good. That's a funny.
I
thing.
think that as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's
That's
the one who sent me the link.
Yeah.
Dylan sent me the link
Yep.
to that entire trailer.
Over here, your boy Dylan.
As soon as I got the notification from my YouTube channels that, because I have the bell notifications for all of them, because I need to see this as soon as it happens, and I saw it, and at first I was like, oh god, they're making a Pokemon movie.
But you let see more of the trailer. It's gonna be pretty decent, man. I know. I'm sure all the anime fans out there,
They're gonna hate it.
They're gonna hate it. Yeah,
They're gonna hate
it. That's what they're gonna think they're being made fun of.
Right.
Well, let's just be
Definitely.
real. What we came to from, for instance, Spider-Man. How serious it was. You know, it's so serious. And now we're more comical and serious nowadays when we're making our movies.
Which that was what Spider-Man was.
Yeah.
Like Stanley, he had a lot of like comedic banter in all the all the comic books, and then they bring him into the movies, and I'm sorry, Tobey Maguire was a good actor. Tobey Maguire was a good actor. He was a good Spider-Man. He was not a good Peter Parker because he just.
You like Tobey Maguire, right?
I love Tobey Maguire.
That's my boy right there.
Okay, exactly.
See, you're excluded. Get out my house, actually.
But see,
still.
Get out his house.
Get out my house, right
I
now.
thought you were a Tom Holland fan.
See, I am. And let me tell you something.
He's good.
All of the Spider-Mans up to this point, I'm loving him. I love his vibe. I love what he brings to the table.
Definitely.
But Tobey Maguire will always be the number one legit. His body stature, dude, everything was perfect for the role. He looked like athletic. Yes, his cry was the ugliest thing I've seen since I pissed in the toilet this morning. But I'm just saying, dude. Let's be real. And Tobey Maguire, he is the greatest, man. I mean,
in the words of my friend Jacob, if you can forget that, my other friend Jacob, if you can forget that Spider-Man 3 existed, yes, I would say Tobey Maguire. But then when you throw Spider-Man 3 into the mix and then you compare it to Marvel's Spider-Man,
well, movies have changed in general anyway. See, because Marvel. I think what Marvel noticed is they became to be more like a DC comic. We can't be having Marvel and DC. Both are so dark. DC's been dark since day one. It's dark. It's like when it comes on the scene, it's very dark. It's an alley in Arkham City. Like all of it's dark because his parents died. Suicide Squad, dark. Oh, so dark.
Even though they tried to add color.
Yeah, the graffiti was the only bright thing in there. Yeah, that's like, other than their personalities, none of their personalities were bright anyway.
No character development.
But then you got Marvel coming in, and they're like, we don't need to be so serious. So
just have fun with it. Exactly.
Have fun.
That's why the third Spider-Man is not as bad as you would think. Like, let's be honest. Amazing Spider-Man 2 was freaking horrible.
Don't even bring.
Awful.
It was
awful. The Homecoming,
Garfield.
Great. I didn't think it'd be that great. Great.
It blew my mind.
It was great. Great.
Everybody hates the Stark thing. They hate Stark making a suit. Everybody hates.
But see, what kind of comes into that role is the fact that obviously Spider-Man is going to lead.
He's going to lead the Avengers.
He's going to lead.
Is what he's going to do.
And see,
that's going to be good.
And I think Tony Stark has him under his wing. He's treating him like a son. He loves him like a son. He cares for him.
But that's the thing, though. Tobey Maguire was like 30 years old when they cast him.
It's true.
Granted, Tom Holland's 21.
There was no universe around him.
Trust me, I understand. I understand that Tobey Maguire couldn't stay this long.
Oh yeah.
I mean, let's just be honest. Why is Ben Affleck still? Why is he still Batman? He needs to be done. He's terrible.
He is done.
Is he done now?
Ben Affleck, yeah. Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill are done as Superman and Batman. Yeah. Which pisses me off because who else is going to play Batman? You start a universe and you can't end the universe with just, okay, Superman, Batman are out. Let's just do, everyone else gets to still be in it. This makes no sense.
Honestly, though, he looks so old in Justice League. He just looks so out of place.
He's supposed to be old, right?
Let's make Bat Dad from Vine Batman.
Oh,
I feel like that would make it so much better.
I
would be a Batman fan if Bat Dad was Batman.
Yeah, man. I love that.
Jesus. That would be perfect.
I don't know, man.
Okay, how about this? I'll ask y'all a question. Who do you think should play Batman? Other than the people who's played him or rumors already.
I mean, I would want to pull one back from the beginning on the first Batman.
Liam Neeson.
Yeah, for sure, William.
Liam Neeson?
Liam, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I'm going to say Liam Neeson, no joke.
Dude's 80 years old.
Well, not Liam Neeson now. I'm saying if we could like
you're
revitalize.
You're saying
okay,
now.
we're movie producers right now, and we have to pick someone
right now.
Yeah.
Let's see.
It's hard, isn't it?
Batman.
Are you looking up actors right now?
No, I couldn't remember Michael Keaton. I loved him. That's who it was. I couldn't remember his name off the top of my head.
He is the definitive Batman.
It's funny. He's been on Marvel side and DC now.
Yeah.
From Homecoming.
Yeah.
It's funny. I thought it was
and both are birds.
Yeah. Exactly.
He's played 3 bird characters actually. Birdman the movie was fantastic as well.
So I'm gonna be honest. I don't know who could be the new Batman.
I know.
It's gonna be interesting to see, but they was trying to put Tom Hanks as Batman though.
No.
I seen something.
If
no,
I'm sorry.
I think it was Tom Hanks Green Lantern, right?
Yeah. Tom Hanks was Green Lantern, and I would have loved to see Nick Cage as Batman.
Nick Cage.
Okay, maybe. He's got that personality.
He's crazy.
He's crazy. But he's got that crazy look. I don't know. That weird, crazy look in his eyes, always in his role. I don't know if that could be in Batman.
The thing
It'd
is,
be kind of whack.
the thing that needs to change about Batman is that he needs to look different from now on. Like, it doesn't... Like, first they started out with skinny type of people. Then they went to...
Really beefy people.
Really beefy.
Yeah.
Who's the guy that played in Nolan's films? Christian Bale.
Mm-hmm.
Dude was so slim. And, like, it didn't make sense as Batman.
Mm-hmm.
It's either you're going to get someone who's super bulk or someone who's needs to build up in the movie. Like, of course, Batman vs. Superman had him exercise and stuff, but then he was already buff to begin with. Like, it didn't really matter. Like,
That's true.
I mean, he's pretty hot, to be honest. I mean, let's be fair.
Ooh.
Saucy.
No homo, but
Saucy. No homo. You gotta throw that in there.
no homo. I'd smash, of course, obviously. He has like $1 billion. That's the only reason why.
You want him to be your sugar daddy.
Oh, so you're in it for the money?
No, of course not. I'm in for the love. Come on.
I'm in it for the money. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, why not both?
I don't want both. I just want the money.
I don't want both.
Not from a man.
I don't want your love.
I don't want his love. Dude.
But honestly, that whole DC universe is over with. Since Batman and Superman are gone.
Justice League wasn't even that great.
I'm sorry.
It was rocky, man.
Well, the guy's daughter died, and he had to pull out the project. So I get how,
Unpopular
things happen. Yeah.
Unpopular opinion. I hate DC.
I hate it.
I hate DC.
I hate it. I just wish Batman wasn't DC because I love him as far as childhood goes.
Yeah.
It's just,
I'd love to see DC do something that I don't expect them to do.
I mean,
every
what I
time
got
they
hooked on was
disappoint.
the original Batman, man.
Yeah.
Man.
I've never been a Batman fan.
Never been a Batman fan.
Well, I tell you this.
I was never a superhero fan. Time out.
Not really.
Like,
Yeah,
I never was.
He was always Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. That's it.
He introduced me
What
to
a nerd.
superheroes.
I introduced him to like Marvel because it's more like funny, catchy. I mean, I knew he liked Guardians of the Galaxy.
It was more. I mean,
movie.
that stuff that I can get down with a movie like that. I can
Well,
watch a movie like
that's what
that.
Stan Lee said. He's like, he made his comics relatable. Like, instead of having like Batman as beyond belief character, he made Spider-Man this kid from Queens.
Yeah, Queens.
Yeah, I think
He's
so.
from
And
Queens.
he built up to be one of the greatest superheroes of all time from a kid. Like, that's what Stan Lee said in interviews. Like, that's why I made these characters. I didn't make this billionaire guy like Batman, and then boom, he's a superhero. Of course, there's Iron Man.
Yeah,
But he had in his comics, he had his falls and downs and shit.
Oh yeah, like Tony Stark. That money didn't just get him where he was. It wasn't just his money; it was his brains too. Like
Very
the stuff
smart.
he knew how to do.
Definitely.
That's like
He was a superhero because of his mind.
That's like Hulk. Like Hulk wouldn't have been anything. Banner wouldn't have been anything if Banner was not Banner.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
That's true.
yeah, you're Hulk. You can destroy things, and then you turn into what, a normal
That's
guy.
why it was so genius in
Like-
Infinity War that he got saved. At the beginning of the movie because
Yeah.
they knew he was key.
Oh yeah.
They knew he was key.
Did you hear about that whole thing, about that whole joke that the Russo brothers are playing right now, that they fired Mark Ruffalo because he released the Avengers 4 title?
Yeah, that's not happening.
It was supposed to be.
It's not. You know how much Spider-Man has gave up in interviews? They had to stop. They had to start sending people with him.
Tom Holland has to be censored by other actors.
Yes, man. I'm telling you, they had to tap his leg. Quit.
Dude,
you know what I'm saying?
This kid went from not being in anything to being Spider-Man, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a very respectful kid actor, but like, he wasn't Spider-Man.
But I mean, time out.
I get it.
But I mean, time out. Peter Parker went from being Peter Parker to Spider-Man.
Yeah, he did.
It's like the same thing. I
Yeah.
can see the correlation.
That's what they done.
Exactly.
That's what they done.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't want to say that it was just kind of like, well, let's just take a random kid and make him Spider-Man.
But what is
see
Tobey
happens.
Maguire doing nowadays? I mean, he dropped off. Like,
he's like old.
I don't know.
I mean,
I
he
feel
really was.
like
He was very old when it came out.
Yeah.
I feel like he took a
I think he does shows.
I thought he was doing
He was
like
in
a little
The Great
direct.
Gatsby.
what's that?
he was.
5 years ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
What's that movie? No, not the movie. The guy, Blue's Clues. I feel like Tobey Maguire is gonna turn into like a Blue's Clues guy. He's just gonna completely.
He would have done that in his 30s, man.
Yeah.
He's old now. Where are you at?
So he's gonna turn into like
guy,
a.
like get cancer.
Dude,
No, I think he was on weed, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It was
he was on
some
something.
controversy about him. Yeah.
There's a lot of controversy about a lot of things.
Tobey Maguire
Police
looks
Coast
like,
has to be one of them because that thing's freaky, man.
Tobey Maguire looks like a dad now.
Dude, he is a dad.
How old is
But
he?
tell me what, that dude's aged really
I'm
nicely.
saying, he
He was
looks
born
like
in 1975. He's 43 now.
He's 40.
He's 43, my God.
He should play Batman.
Dude, he really... Nah, man. He's
Oh,
too
Robin.
short for that.
Robin.
Yeah, man.
he's too short for that.
How tall is he?
Nah, he ain't tall for sure. He's like 5'3",
I have no
maybe.
idea.
He's definitely short. 'Cause I remember a lot of the angles in the original Spider-Man.
How tall is Tobey Maguire? 5'8".
He's 5'8".
He's shorter than me, actually. Okay, never mind.
I'm depressed.
That's not a Batman. My
Who's
Batman
your
is 6'1".
Well, there's a lot of images of
Easy.
Batman, but I would always think he'd be a stocky dude.
Right.
For sure, not some skinny dude. I think he'd be pretty built. Because he's got a lot of time on his hands.
Someone like Tom Holland's size should be Robin.
Yeah.
Somebody small.
Well, they
Should
had
be
that
Robin.
one guy in.
Do y'all know how sad it's going to be when Ryan Reynolds isn't Deadpool?
Well, no one else is ever going to play Deadpool.
They
though.
should.
I
I mean,
think so.
I would
think
hope
of Hugh
not.
Jackman and Wolverine.
Who could play
Exactly.
Wolverine?
Dude. I mean,
Besides-
I mean, I could play Wolverine, but
Oh yeah, you could.
definitely.
hire me, Marvel. I'd really appreciate it. I need the money. I won't shave my beard off though. Sorry.
I mean, you're kind of
like
looking
this.
for a new X-Men cast, aren't you?
Yeah, we have Magneto.
I would be Magneto. You would put me in
You
the
would be-
spot of Gandalf?
Yes, actually, I would.
What?
He'd be Magneto, right?
How?
Or he'd be like the bus driver or some shit. Like
Definitely
one
the
scene
bus
of
driver.
movie.
What bus?
I know he's Rocket from Guardians of the Galaxy for sure.
Yeah, we decided.
We
that.
decided
I was like,
that.
he says a lot of things.
And
I
Chris
would
Pratt
say.
really reminds me of things I would say. I think that's why I like his comedy so much.
Like, I would be the
Chris
one
Pratt's
up
straight.
on the side of the group, just like shooting the gun, and he would be over there on the side, like, dude, I need your prosthetic leg. Like, I need it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I could see that.
He said, "Oh, I was just kidding. I didn't need it." Jacob, I transferred 37,000 units for that leg.
Yeah, he'd be like, I paid this dude like $600 for this leg just now. I'd be like, oh yeah, that wasn't a good idea. That was a joke.
Added to my collection, obviously.
But now we have a leg. I mean, it's not a complete downside.
Yeah, you never.
Yeah,
know
but you
what
just thought
use
it'd be
it for.
funny to see him hopping around on one leg.
Yeah.
Knee slapper, my guy.
And then, Daniel, a friend of mine named Daniel.
He is Thesaurus.
Yeah, he is Drax. He's
Yeah,
definitely Drax.
Yeah.
I love Drax.
Cause
I
He's
like
so
his Drax
funny,
comedy.
dude. It's so freaking funny, dude.
Daniel
I can
has some
stand
Drax.
But he could get
comedies.
angry if he wanted to. I mean, he's very angry about his family.
Yeah.
Very poetic.
I mean, he almost got everyone killed.
Definitely.
What?
But then again, Chris Pratt did it in
In the
Infinity
first
War.
movie?
Hey, Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt did get everybody
That's
killed.
what I'm
Actually
saying.
did.
That's what I'm saying.
Fucking Chris Pratt.
We're not mad at Chris Pratt. We're just very mad.
But who? I'd do that. I mean, he got pissed off. Like his girlfriend's dead.
But
And
I
she
mean,
can't come back either, by the way, because it
Oh.
can't be undone with the snap. So she's dead in the universe, right?
no.
No.
Is that how people
Not
talk about it? I
necessarily.
thought they said that if he kills someone without using stones, but he got it for the stone, and the stone's still
If he
on the
kills someone
gauntlet, then
without
if
the
you
stone?
reverse it, you can't come back from the dead.
But the time stone.
I'll be honest, she wasn't in it long.
I don't know.
But
She
but then
wasn't.
again, did she make an impact on people? Not really.
I mean,
she,
I
but,
thought-
but they kind
I
of
thought-
had her in the background, but
You
not
got-
as a sidekick, you know?
It's Gamora though. Like I feel like
in the
Gamora's
comics, she's
gonna
a
come.
lot bigger.
Okay,
though.
for instance, Groot had a super major impact. There was no way he's dying.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
because he's a sidekick, he's very peculiar human being as Vin Diesel for the voice.
He
Which
is
is
Groot.
funny. He is Groot.
He's Groot.
We are Groot,
We
my
are
friend.
Groot.
We are Groot.
I mean, when I was watching it, and I'll spoiler alert for anyone.
You probably
who
should put
hasn't
that as the
watched
title. My bad.
My bad. But if you haven't seen it yet, what are you doing?
If you ain't seen it, you probably heard about the
I mean, I'm be honest.
the snap.
Yeah.
When I was watching it, I cried when Peter Parker died, only because of what he said.
Yes.
Because like if he
'Cause
just,
I
if
thought
he just
about
would've just
that,
said
yeah.
that and going away, but him going, making it drawn out, I
He-
was like, no.
He
no.
always does that, though.
He did, but you
I
gotta
was
think
so
though.
pissed.
Yeah.
He's the only one that knew it was coming.
Spider-Man.
He's the only one that knew it was coming. Spider sense. He could sense that he was dying.
Oh yeah.
That's how he could fight
Spider-Sense.
it. Nobody else knew it was coming. They just started disappearing. They didn't know how to fight it. They didn't even know what the fuck they were fighting. He didn't know what he was fighting, but he knew he was fighting something, so he was fighting it.
Well, I like Peter.
That's why it lasted so long.
When he went away, he was like, "Oh man,
Oh man, that
it's your fucking fault, Peter. Jesus Christ."
He would look at Dylan would look at his hands and be like, "Oh man," just like disappear.
Is that how it would be?
Definitely. I could see you just disappearing like that.
It's time for us to make some cameos of our own inside those movies.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Or just walking around in the background. That's it. Or like you want a real cameo?
Don't get smart on me, okay?
Okay, yes.
I mean,
No, I don't know, man. It's just
I mean, I'm not saying we'd be good at cameos or anything, but Marvel. Sometimes I know you need like extras. I'm down.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna be an extra, but I had to drive to Georgia for Homecoming, Spider-Man Homecoming.
You were gonna do that?
Yeah.
Why didn't you do
high
it?
school scene? Yeah.
Why didn't you do it?
Because it's a fucking drive, man.
it's 3 hours.
3-hour drive.
To Atlanta, yeah. That's a long ass drive, and I didn't have my Kia Soul.
I drove to Miami 2 weeks ago.
No, I didn't have my Kia Soul. I had my my '99 Cougar that was a piece of shit. There's no way in hell I was gonna drive to Georgia and back in that car, even though I did it a month later to go to my grandma's. But that's different, okay?
Is it really though?
It was actually
it's not, my friend.
It was actually 2 hours to my grandma's, so hour, and so less difference. I was only gonna make like $20, so.
But you were gonna be in the movie.
But you're not guaranteed to be in the movie though. They'll say, "Oh yeah, you'll be an extra," but I have friends who's been to those things and like you would see like a hand and that's it. And I'm like, I don't want that. I rather have even though I would have increased my odds to be in a movie if I was actually there. I get that, but
Definitely.
But I don't know.
I don't know if I could be an extra. I'd be so low. Like I would see Spider-Man over there, and I'm just like, my hand's in the camera. What's up, dog?
Oh, what's up, dog?
We're on the same level now. Just not really as far as pay, but you know what I'm saying.
It's like, I
mean, I've rented the same car you own, so I kind of look. You know what I'm saying? I'm rolling like you now. My hand's in the camera.
But just for a few days.
No, it's like the hallway scene.
If you rent the
you want me to sign on my left hand? I mean, you feel?
I probably need to go back on that site because there's
you ain't kidding, dude. I got him excited.
There's a site.
Yeah,
like just like
you had to pay like $200 a month. But
you were paying that?
No, not no. I had like.
What is your problem?
No. Okay, so here's a story. Okay, so I went to. I don't know how I came. I don't know. I was putting in my email. I was like, put your email in for more information.
Dude, what if you were going there and they were gonna murder you or something?
I guess I was gonna get murdered. I don't know. That's it. That's also a great story for CNN. I mean, I wouldn't be telling it if I was murdered, but
yeah, I'll tell it.
You tell it,
especially if you pay $200 to get murdered.
But
you're a high roller paying $200. $200 here, murder me.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Krunch podcast. Will is no longer with us. He was murdered.
I'll be a ghost.
Sorry guys, we're on the podcast and well, we lost one of our members today. He was crunched out of the situation.
Crunched out of the situation.